Hello and welcome back to what is now part 6 of how to create an endless runner using Unity and C#. Today we're going to be doing the Highscore and saving and loading the Highscore. So let's just get started by opening up our PlayerScript in Visual Studio and adding a new variable which is going to be a public int Highscore. And this is where we're going to store our high score. So we come down in our script to where we add new points onto our score, and we just want to add an if statement here, which will just be checking if our score is equal to or greater than our high score. Then we want to make our high score be equal to our score. So that's pretty simple. All we're doing is every time we put a point into our score, we check if our new score, like our current score, is greater than our high score, and if it is, our high score is now equal to whatever our score was. Pretty cool, but we still can't display it and we can't save it or load it. So to begin with, we're just going to, I don't know, what should we do next? I suppose we could start doing some PlayerPrefs stuff and just save the high score as a PlayerPref. So what a PlayerPref is you can store 3 types of data with it, which I believe is a string, an int, or a float. You can do a lot with all of them, but you might need to get a bit creative to do some things. But we're going to be using it to save our ints and bait our int for our high score. And basically what it allows us to do is save it in a file on the computer or on the device, so that when you quit the game and launch it again, it can just read from there and the script can get the last value that we had put into it. So to do that, we just need to add PlayerPrefs dot set int, and then we're going to call the int Highscore, and because it's a we're going to call it Highscore, and then it's going to be equal to our score. Oops, score with capital S. Okay, so what this does is we are setting an int in our folder PlayerPrefs, in our file PlayerPrefs, that is called Highscore, and it is equal to our score. So yeah, now that we have that, we want to save. And so basically what that's going to allow us to do is save and load our high score. So if we now come over to our UI controller, we'll just make it so that our text can actually be displayed. So in here we're going to want to add I don't know, what should we start with? I guess we'll start in the update, and we'll make it so that the text is actually rendering something. Do we have a text yet? No, so we'll add some text. So we need a public text, which we're going to call Highscore, and then now we can use that down here. So Highscore dot text is equal to the word Highscore, plus our actual high score, but we haven't loaded that in yet, so we're also going to need to add something for that. So I guess we only ever need to do this in the start function. We'll just add that in quickly. So we need to call our high score back out of the PlayerPrefs, and to do that is pretty simple. We're going to need to add another public variable up here, which is just going to be an int, and it's going to be our high score. What can we do to make this less confusing? We'll just call it Highscore score, because this is the actual Highscore score, and then this is the Highscore text, if that makes any sense. So yeah, in the start, we just want to make our Highscore score equal to PlayerPrefs again, but instead of setting, this time we want to use getInt, which is just going to allow us to get a variable instead of set one. And then what we set it to, did we set it to just, yeah, it's just Highscore, so if we just come over here, Highscore, and then this is going to be an int, so we just have a 0 there. And then, yeah, so now our Highscore score is equal to whatever we have in the position in Highscore in the PlayerPrefs. And if we go to our player script, we can see that in PlayerPrefs we're setting the Highscore equal to our current Highscore. Wait, that is set to score. We want this to be Highscore. Cool. So yeah, now it is setting to our Highscore. So if we come over to here, Highscore, down here we can add the Highscore score, which is the one we just created here that we needed, and then that should be it for that line. That might be all we need to do. So I'll show you a few other things in a second, but let's just see how this is running. Loading. Okay, so we have our game, and we didn't link our Highscore, so nothing is going to happen. So if we come over to our UI controller, now we can see we have the variable Highscore here. So we just need to add our Highscore text to that. And now if we press play, our Highscore should say 0 instead of 0, 0, 0. It says Highscore 1B. That's not good, so let's just press play for a second. And die. Oh yeah, now Highscore equals 4. I'm not really sure why it's going to 1B, and it's not going to do it this time because it's just going to go to 4. So I'll just show you something quickly. If you want to delete your Highscore, there's two ways to do it. You can use PlayerPrefs.delete all or PlayerPrefs.delete key. If you use delete key, then you need to have brackets with the name of the bit you're trying to delete, so we'll use Highscore. Or if you want to use delete all you need is delete all, and then that will delete all. So now whenever we quit the game, we're going to delete all of our current PlayerPrefs. So we'll come back over and let's see if we get the 1B thing again. See, it's saying it equals 0 to begin with, but let's go score equals. We'll just add these in here just to be sure that this isn't what was doing it. Okay, so now we'll come back over to Unity and let that load in. I'll have a drink of water. Ah, no, I won't. Okay, so let's press play. Quit. Press play. And yeah, now it's working. So now it's equaling 0. So I think it was just because we hadn't set it up here. And then that way it was just doing a weird little thing. So yeah, just set it up to 0 up there, and then the first time they launch it, they'll just see 0 there. So if we come in and just press play, make a high score. High score of 5. We play again. We'll try to get less than 5 if we can. Now we only got 4, and we have a high score of 4. So obviously that isn't working correctly, so let's have a quick look why. Okay, so that was silly. The problem was pretty simple. It's just that we need to set what high score is equal to when we start up the game again. So obviously high score is going to be equal to the PlayerPrefs high score. So if we come up to the start function, we just want to add high score equal to PlayerPrefs, and then the same thing we had before. So just dot get int and all the same as before. And then that should just work without a problem now. Yeah, so we have a high score of 3. Now we have a high score of 7. Now if we press play, we still have a high score of 7. Cool. So we have that working. We probably want to take out the part which says delete, but just so you know how to do that, there's that. And yeah, I think that's about it for this video. So we covered how to do all of the PlayerPrefs and how to calculate a high score. There's a little bit of glitch in the middle, sorry about that, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and as always, yeah, have a good day. Don't know why I said as always, but